hay and a stack of needles.
Our band of adventurers, the Talaria, have been investigating reports of a draconic creature. After doing a quick side job in helping a farmhand with a small wolf problem, you continued back the direction you had came towards Sangan to find where this creature had last been located. Instead, you came upon a small hunter camp, and within it was a young goblin girl known as Fur. You attempted to interrogate her about the goings-on and about the creature, and very quickly saw through her facade. It turned out that, yes, there is a draconic creature. A baby dragon, it seems. What you weren't expecting, however, was that this dragon appeared to have been almost soul-bound to Fur. Knowing that her predicament means that she and yourselves are in a bit of a bad position, you decided to bring her along into your group, hoping that the druid tribes with the Murrag would be able to take her in while she dealt with the issue. As you returned back to Sangan, you prepared to get everything, any last-minute dealings dealt with before you headed off towards the Murrag. And that is where we left off. So, if I recall, you've had Marine go speak with the captain to say that there's nothing going on. Mev and Fur are just doing small things, such as walking around the town, having Fur maybe see if there's a lance she can get, and everyone else is doing basically a big shopping trip. Am I right on that one, if I recall correctly?
Yep.
Yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yep.
Also, there's that video for you guys.
Sweet.
Nice.
Because I think people are just getting supplies. I think Trothmar's having fucking nightmares about the time he murdered a load of people. Well, what Aki's doing is he's going to like basically look for books about dragon anatomy and like any sort of records about people being soul bonded like this to magical creatures.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I was also getting your stuff from the Archmage as well.
Oh yeah,
that was another bit as well.
Basically, everyone's going to meet up to go do that.
Mm-hmm. Outside of Fur, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, which means that Mev isn't going.
Okay, so we'll skip on marine stuff since the player isn't here. So who wants to go first? Is it team small or team tall?
Oh my god.
Shall we let the fates decide?
I fucking guess.
Okay, someone roll for one, someone roll for the other. I need to grab my book.
Guys, team tall, team small, team tall.
Alright.
So, we'll go with the highest. So.
It's team tall.
So then.
Sorry.
How are you all starting off then with your search? What's the particular things that you're focusing on, first and foremost? Is it rations? Is it research? What's the particular things that you're shopping for outside of rations, if just rations?
Aki's going to be trying to find like a book, basically like a good sort of academic-y kind of bookshop.
Okay. You will probably be able to find that in the Vagrant Plateau.
Okay. So in that case, yeah. When he gets to the group, he'll say, I need to procure some kind of text that could give even the remotest inclination about what's happening here. So the best bet for that would be some sort of book repository up on the Vagrant Plateau. But so If any of you would care to join me up there, I'd be delighted for the company, or we could, I suppose, get provisions and whatnot for the trip down in the Reed district and ascend later in the day. I'm entirely beholden to what other people fancy.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. I wanted to pick up some stuff for myself and Mev too, so, you know.
Well, sounds like a plan then. Kindling, I suppose. I suppose we could go as a three-piece, acquire provisions in the Reed, and then ascend up to the plateau and go book shopping. I suppose we could work it that way. We don't have to divide. Actually, yes, that would be smart. I suppose we don't want it spoiling. All right then. Fancy district first, and then market and then go to the markets in the lower city.
Yeah,
That's
looks
right.
like it.
Superb. All right, let's head off then. And Aki will start walking out the door of the inn, brothel place.
Okay. So you're heading to the fancy place in town first, the Vagrant Plateau, and sort of working your way
please.
down?
Yeah.
Okay. So what particulars are you looking for in the Vagrant Plateau outside of books, or is it just the books you're looking for?
I mean, I suppose if we do have our two chefs here, so I suppose if we are looking for like finer ingredients, we might get that more likely in the plateau.
Probably more likely in the upper. I mean, technically it is right next to the Vagrant Plateau, but probably the near the top of the Skyward Markets.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, but you could.
You very much could.
Okay, so based on that, it sounds like you're looking for books first and foremost.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's easy enough to sort of ask around for if there's any kind of like libraries or a place of academia. They do point you towards the Archmage's Tower when it comes to like areas of academia. But then when you specify specifically books, they do point you over to a relatively small but fancy bookstore called the Endless Knowledge.
Okay.
The building itself is maybe about the size of a small cottage, made with white marble, like a lot of the buildings here are. Though clearly not as well maintained as the rest of the buildings surrounding it. As you enter, it's a very clean interior with wall-to-wall covered in bookshelves. You can see a few of those. I don't think they've got a proper name, but those like sliding ladders that you usually see. In fancy stuff where the bookshelves go all the way up to the ceiling.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
They probably have a proper name, but I just call it a sliding ladder because
they probably have a very fancy
They're
name.
literally called sliding ladders.
Oh well, there you go.
Or like hook ladders.
Yeah. But essentially, you can see several of those.
We call them climb boards, but yeah, carry on.
You can see several more like fancy dressed people with clearly their servants doing the climbing to get the books and such. As a sort of reading and sort of like talking hush nearby. As you walk through towards where the like the actual counter is, you do see there's a few areas where there's like sitting areas where people are just sitting and reading.
Okay. Is there like a front desk or like a reception?
There's a counter, like it's sort of like a regular shop and such.
Okay. It
There's
seems like this place is like a cross between a library and a bookshop.
seems to be. You're not too sure.
Okay.
You can see that the gentleman who's appears to be the shop owner is a relatively aged human, maybe about in his 40s, approaching his 50s. Male wearing a fancy like shirt and a little bow tie as well. Actually, you can see he's got his hair is relatively unkept, very Doc Brown-esque, though, with a few like tufts clearly thinning and such.
Okay.
He sort of he gives you a smile with these dazzlingly like white teeth, though. It's like, hello there, sirs, and just sort of like looks over at Kinlan. Sirs, welcome to the endless knowledge.
Good day, sir. I was inquiring upon whether you had any tomes on dragon physiognomy.
Dragon physiology.
Yes, I'm working on something of a research project, and I need to figure out the ins and outs of the anatomical makeup of and medical information of certain dragon species.
Medical information of dragons. We do have a few of those books. He sort of taps the side of his head a few times, so like deep in thought. Shelf 17B, probably about 3/4 of the way up, you'll find the category of dragons, specifically.
Delightful, thank you very much. You've been an immense help. Now, I wonder if any of my companions here have any business with you.
Of course, I'm more than happy to help.
Havelock, do you fancy getting some nerd knowledge?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to get some books on hunting.
Hunting books. Shelf 2G, probably near the floor area.
Looks to kindling. We wait for response.
Cookbooks and stuff about elementals. Factual. Factual of the elementals, I assume. If that's the case, you want shelf 11C, round about the middle. For cooking books, you would want 7F, right at the top.
Oh, I almost forgot. I'm not sure there'll be a distinct category of text for this, but do you have any book on the nature of how do I phrase this? The potentially magical bonding between a person and a beast of some kind, like a familiar relationship, as in one would have with as if a wizard would have with their familiar.
Those of the arcane. Try shelf 1G. That is usually the arcane-related one. That might be the best that you have with that.
All right, excellent. Thank you very kindly. I'll let you know how we get along. And Aki will turn away from the desk and start walking into the forest of shelves.
Alrighty. So, I take it's just the general topic you're looking for in regards to them all. So,
Yeah.
we shall... I guess we'll go from alphabetical on this one then. So, Aki, you are specifically looking for dragon anatomy and in regards to the soul bounding of man and beast, or man and creature.
Beast, yeah.
Okay. So you look through several books. There are a decent chunk about dragons. You see ones about battle tactics. You see one from you see someone's like journey throughout seeing various dragons. You don't quite get the name properly, fish spawns or something like that. You're not too sure. And then you find a small book. And when I say small, I don't like they're the same height, but just width-wise. Saying the inner workings and weaknesses of the chromatic dragons.
This could do nicely. I suppose it shouldn't be a surprise in a land such as this. Most of the tomes are about how to kill a dragon and not help one. But I say this quietly, but I say this like hushly to myself while I'm flicking through the while I'm just looking through the books.
Mm-hmm.
I goes, yes, I think this one will do, and I'll take out the one about sort of what did you call it again? The weaknesses and
the inner workings and weaknesses of the chromatic dragons.
There you go. The inner workings and weaknesses of the chromatic dragons. Yeah, I'll take that rather slim volume and sort of put it to one side.
Mm-hmm. And then in regards to the bounding, like soul bounding and such, you actually struggle on this one. You look about, and most of the things that you're seeing specifically involve like creating familiars or binding familiars. You see a few that talk about like deals with devils, about how they get bound to each other, but the particular like the exact subject you're looking for, you don't see anything.
Rotten. Okay, I didn't see any books about like here's what to do if like you just of like an animal is accidentally bound to you kind of thing. Or it just happens to.
The closest, like, just with your book knowledge and such, the closest you would probably get is the one about demons or devils binding to people. And, like, literal deals with the devil.
Yeah, I haven't met the fellow, but I feel like Neverland would be able to figure out if it was we were dealing with a creature from the nine pits here, but. I don't think these may not be of any help here. It's a shame. It's a damn shame. Really have to figure it out by ear then. Well, I suppose I have what I've looking for. I'll see how if I can purchase this or rent it out. I'm not quite sure how this place works. Have we all split up, or are we one group?
I don't know. Have you all split up?
Yeah. Yeah. So Aki, a bit disappointingly, is going to feeling a bit disappointed with the selection, is going to actually, while he's looking through like the sections on magic, does he come across any about like druidic topics and like nature magic?
Make an investigation check.
Just out of curiosity. Investigation. That's not bad.
You see a few passing mentions. If you're going to look about the other shells, you can make another investigation check. But just on the shells that you're looking at, it seems to be more focused on arcane than druidic stuff.
Oh, okay.
But,
Can I
yeah.
can I take a stroll around the library, and a quick stroll around the library, and see if I can find a section on nature magic?
Sure. Make another investigation check.
Hell yeah, bruh. Investigation. Fuck.
8. I mean, it's not like it's trying to deliberately hide the book. So you do find a handful about the druids. I would say with that check, the only one you sort of notice is one that is labeled the Exodus of the Druids.
Could be an interesting tome, and I'll pull that one out as well.
Alrighty.
Wait, did you say the ecstasy or the exodus?
Exodus.
Exodus, okay.
Okay, but if it did say ecstasy, though?
That's fucking hot.
That's in an entirely different section of the library.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking... Talk about fucking spike growth, yeah. Yeah, so then... Okay. And then... Aki... In this sort of druidic section, is there anything about the tribes in Sangan? In the Murrag, sorry.
Make another investigation check.
Yay! Get all my investigation rolls out of the way. Shit.
Another 8. You sort of quickly flick through a few books in regards to anything involving druidic tribes. There's only passing mention for them in the Murrag, so the only information you've got is from what Boromir told you.
Yeah, rotten. Okay, just checking. In that case, yeah, Aki's with those 2 books, the Inner Workings and Weaknesses of Chromatic Dragons and the Exodus of the Druids, Aki will go back to the crazy-haired old man at the desk.
Ah, welcome back. Welcome back, friend.
Oh, yes. Thank you. It was a light. You have quite the collection here, my friend.
Many generations of gathering, I can assure you.
Yes, I would like to purchase or withdraw these 2, please. And he'll put the 2 books down in front of them.
Interesting choice of books. If you wish to buy them, then I am willing to part with them for... looks at them again. How about we say 8 gold for the 2 of them? And if you want to rent them out, let us say a silver a week for them.
Well, I can't at all promise I'll be back to return them, I'm afraid.
Then purchase is your option.
Something of a field trip, it is, I'm afraid. I'd like to outright purchase them if that's okay.
Of course.
And he'll put down the 8 gold. And he'll put down the 8 gold.
Sort of almost with a sort of spidery hand, plucks the gold off the table and just sort of pockets it.
I have to always have a calculator open just to subtract my gold. So, there we go. Yeah, there goes. Well, thank you very much. I wish you and your business all the best.
Of course.
And then Aki will go over to one of the You said they were seating areas that people were reading, right?
Yeah. There's a handful of people that are reading in the various areas.
Aki will take a seat there, and he will pull out the Exodus of the Druids and just start sort of reading the introduction, the first few pages of it.
Okay, alright. So while that happens, going down the list on alphabetical stuff. So Havelock, you're looking for hunting related things, yes?
Yes.
Any particulars or just general hunting?
Just general hunting.
Okay. Looking through, you find a lot of it is related specifically to Karmora. You sort of like, again, like, maybe not as gently as Aki is with the books, you just kind of like, just jam it back in and such. But so like flicking through a few of them, you find one that mentions like the commonplace flora and fauna of the, of Karmora, ironically called the common flora and fauna of Karmora. You see one in regards to the like various migrations of the various herds and such. You see one that's less about hunting and more about like particular areas of note. But so like as you skim through them, you do see they do mention various bits of like hunting and such.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like anything you're looking for, or is it because we'll be here a while otherwise?
I'll just grab everything that you just mentioned.
Okay. So you gather the 3 books, which is the Common Fauna and Fauna of Karmora, Explorer's Guide to Karmora, totally not based off a book that already exists, and the Migrating Herds. Those are the 3 books that you've gotten.
Alright, I'll take them on up to the counter.
Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to buy these.
So like leans over and looks at them. Very common books. Let's go with 7 gold for the lot of them.
I hand him a platinum.
Just picks it up, just observes it carefully. Very well. So like rummage in his pocket and hands you back 3 gold.
Alright, thank you, sir. Do I see Aki anywhere?
You find Aki on one of the tables with his nose deep in a book.
I will go sit with him and push him deeper into the book.
And as
Yes.
and as like I feel like the pressure of someone on the back of my head pushing me into the book. You hear a rather hushed and startled Aki say, what is the meaning of this?
Fucking nerd. Reading books at a book place.
You call me a nerd. Have a look in it, and yet I find you in the exact same place. And how many books have you got there?
Just 3.
Ah, right. Will you be joining me in that case?
Yeah, we're just waiting for kindling now.
Speaking of, so kindling, are there any? So I know you said cooking books.
Yeah.
Is there any and stuff about elementals? Anything in particular that you're looking for? Primarily behaviors. Okay. So, looking about in the areas that were specified, cookbooks, you find one that is called the ever-expanding lists of soups. And you sort of like read through them, you can see like there's a lot of soups. It's literally a soup book. You see another one that's whereas the ever-expanding book of soups is more like finesse. You see one that's simply called like the grog pot, which is all about the more like rugged kind of like in the wild foods that you can make and such. Looking around for elementals, there's surprisingly less than you would expect in a shop this big. The biggest, you sort of see that they're sort of intertwined with information about the elemental planes, but eventually you find a particular book called The Attribute and Behaviors of the Lesser Elementals. Yeah, lesser, but you sort of like flick through the book and you do see there is mentions of the stronger elementals. It does mention, however, that they don't have a lot of research onto it, but essentially it's a case of, we know this. We assume it's similar for these. In fact, the first page, it literally has a warning saying that insufficient research has been made on greater elementals, therefore this may not be an accurate reflection. Alrighty. So you gather them and head to the shopkeep. One that is lowly and one that is high. Interesting taste, sir. I assume you wish to purchase and not rent? If that is the case, let us go with 6 gold. 2 for the grog pot, 4 for attributes and behaviors. You come back like a year later, the guard immediately arrests you. What are you arresting me for? You have had these books rented out for over a year.
An overdue library book.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Futurama where Fry discovers his old bank account from '99 where he had like $12 in it is now worth like 28 billion and 3,000.
It would be funny though. Press Havelock didn't do it.
We start seeing like wanted posters for all of us, like
I'm
crime
LARPing.
overdue
Oh
library.
my god.
200 gold for bringing them in alive.
Crime overdue library books. Alrighty. Of course, sir.
Just can I double check? Just my notes. What were the 3 books that Havelock bought?
Do you not remember yourself, Havelock?
No, I'll be honest, my brain's kind of mush today.
So, I just need to recall myself on what it is. Unless, oh, there we go. Oh, the third one was The Explorer's Guide to Karmora.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
How much do you say books weigh?
Not very. You probably won't even really need to put them on your thing.
Fair enough. Okay.
At most, they'd be like a pound, 2 pounds.
Okay. So I'm thinking, how big a book is the Exodus of the Druids?
Not very.
Okay, and you said the inner workings of weaknesses was quite a slim book, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like over 100 pages at least, but like, it's not.
It's not like a 2,000-page encyclopedia.
No. It's like
What did I miss? I had to grab my food.
nothing much. Just they grab their books at this point.
I'm guessing all the big dragon books was like, here's how you kill one.
Actually, no. They're all of them are probably like maybe about as thick as the official like D&D books.
Okay. No, fair enough. Okay, I was wondering.
Surprisingly thin for an old book.
In that case, I guess I'll. Is Havelock also just reading one of his books?
Yeah, Havelock's reading through the herds.
Wow, reading? Wow, what nerd shit. Yeah, in that case, I guess Kindling just sees us two just sat reading like a bunch of nerds, but like quite close to the shopkeep. Well, no, I was just waiting for everyone to be finished with their duties. I trust you found what you were looking for, Kindling. Excellent, and I hope cookbooks, elemental books, and books about cooking elementals, yes? I shouldn't have given you the idea, should I? God, he's gonna kill us all. Have a look. Oh, there you go. How would you go about exactly sauteing an air elemental? The air. A water you could possibly make a fine stock out of, but anyway, I'm entertaining this. Right, we should get back on the move. Don't we have some supplies to pick up? Also, coming out of character for a second. What was this about the Archmage that we needed to do?
So you have 2 weapons that are meant to be delivered today. Farant said that he would send them over to the Archmage.
Okay.
Marine also wants to talk to him.
Yep.
And did Varant want me to give anything to the Archmage?
No, I don't recall. I think it was just a case of like, oh no, I will, send it over to the Archmage, and then she'll probably arrange for it to be sent to the place which you said to go to send it to, which was the Threshold.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Alrighty.
You must not show this to anyone, not even to him. This is secret information. Only eyes for those intended to be given to. She says a picture of his dick. Very fun.
Ron just shows up. Is it secret? Is it safe?
Exactly.
Alright. So, Are the three of you just reading, or are you heading off for more shopping?
No, Aki's sort of saying like, we have all the time in the cosmos to read. And we have things to do. People, pack up. I'm afraid. And Aki will take his 2 books, stuff them into his bag, and start walking out.
Alrighty. So, I guess I think we'll continue on a bit with Team Tall on this one. So what are you shopping for next?
I wanted to try and get some, like, hunting stuff and traps to go along with my ingredients for Find Familiar.
Mm-hmm. So,
I'm trying to think what else. We also needed our rations.
Yeah. What is it that Find Familiar needs again? Is it incense?
Mm-hmm.
Charcoal, incense, and herbs. Oh, that's... No, that is Find Familiar. Yeah, that is right. So you ask around for the particular things. You're pointed down to the shingles down in the Reed district for things like hunting traps and rations, though there are a few shops that do sell them in the Skyward Market. In regards to things like incense and such, you are directed predominantly to the Palindrome's party.
Ooh, okay.
It's down to you on what order you go through on these.
Wait, so what was being sort of the Palindrome's party again?
So in regards to Havelock's question for, like, you know, stuff for Find Familiar, you are pointed towards the Palindrome's party.
Okay. Oh, I heard tales of that place. Last time I was in the market, someone pointed out to me, oddly, there's somewhere to avoid from memory. It's a unusual and beguiling place. Frankly, it sounds right up your street. Havelock. Better you say so myself.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for such the compliment. Kindling, you mind if we make a quick stop over that way?
Well, it's in the middle of the market. If he's looking for provisions and cooking equipment, then he'll be there. Yes, let's get going.
Alrighty, so to the Palindrome's party.
Yeah.
So, you know where it is because you've noticed it previously. Still looks the same as before, a solid square stone building which has a singular small window to the side of it, with the door appearing to slightly have like some what looks to be like some glowing resin on it.
Exactly the most welcoming place, is it?
Alright, we're gonna head on in, do our shopping. For my shopping stuff, I don't need to roleplay it.
Okay. Alright. So, as you try to open the door, and so, like, pull, it doesn't feel like a door. In fact, you sort of, like, try and pull, it almost moves away like it's a sheet of sort. But you enter into the Palindrome's party. Interior is brightly lit with several floating lanterns, glowing in different colours. But it's cramped. But yeah, obviously, if you don't want to go through the role playing on that, the shopkeeper, which is a female fairy, can sell you some incense. How much is it you want?
I'm looking to get about 3 platinums worth.
Okay. So she's able to get 30 gold worth of incense for you. Oh no, you said 3 platinum, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
it is 30 gold. Yeah, yeah. My brain was
Yes.
going weird there. Into a large sack, which he's able to sort of like hand over to you.
All right. Did you guys want anything from the shop?
I was going to have a look inside just to satiate my curiosity.
Okay. As with the interior is bright and there's like several glowing lanterns that are sort of like floating around different colors. Fairly cramped, as you would expect, given the size of the building. With various assortment of, you can tell they're magical, but not in the sense of like, powerful magical items.
It's more like components and materials, the shop.
There's a few components of materials, but there are, like, you see, like one of the things you see is is like some wands and such, or you see one that literally looks to be like a daffodil. It almost looks like, almost a bit like a toy shop in a way.
Yeah. Aki will look over to the shopkeeper. He said it's a fairy, yeah?
It's a female fairy wearing, I don't know the proper word for it because dumbass when it comes to fashion, but it's almost like a wetsuit with the sleeves and the legs sort of like having trails on them. Yeah, I don't know the word for it. I'm pretty sure there is a name for it. But yeah, she's just kind of like standing on the counter, having just passed a big bag of incense over to Havelock. Well, big for her, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is. Aki goes over to the counter with the fairy and says, "Good morning, my fine fellow. I must say you have quite the array of goods in your shop."
Well, I do try to have a good time and everything, make use of my skills.
May I inquire? I'm intending on spending some time in the Murrag, potentially a good deal of time. Would you have any items here to recommend that would possibly increase one's viability in a environment such as that?
Sonny, I think you're in the wrong place. The Palindrome's party, we deal with fun stuff and the occasional magic components. Best I could offer you is one of these candle lanterns. It'll give light, and you won't need to hang it up anywhere, so long as it's not raining.
When in that case, what does this one do? And he points points to the daffodil one.
That's not a wand. That's not a wand, fella. But here, let me show you. Just sort of like flies over and sort of like unlocks the display case and pulls it out. She then quickly flies over to and puts like a tankard in, fills it with water, and puts the daffodil in. He's sort of like that's like, okay, just wait a bit. She sort of like just watches it for a minute, says, "There, now give it a sniff."
Yeah, Aki has a good old sniff.
As you breathe in, you suddenly get doused in water as the daffodil sprays water out.
Well, how delightful! And Aki will use shape. Is it shape water? Yeah, we'll just basically use shape water just to make the water run off him. And he was like, "Well, that's yes, I can see this. You provide the more jovial side of more jovial side of the arcane.
But yeah, everyone's always stuck up. She just plucks that fill in, sort of like as she's talking, just brings it back to the display case. The arcane ones are always, so up and stuffy about it. They don't see the fun in magic,
I suppose in the same way that it's a toolbox given to us, a toolbox provided to us that can be used for all manner of things, not just to inflict pain or do workaday things, but to inspire joy. And frankly, thank you very much for helping spread some of that arcane joy. It's a side of it not much reported.
And you mentioned about like wands. Well, pulls one of the pulls an actual, what looks to be like an actual wand. This is an actual wand. Just sort of flicks it at you. You can either choose to try and resist against the effect, or just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Okay. So she sort of flicks the wand. There's a crackle of sparks from the tip of the wand. Aki, you feel your brow begin to furrow, and you try and stop it a few times until eventually your face is in a permanent scowl. And she just twirls the wand and places it back on the display before closing it. Wanda scowls. Don't worry, it'll wear off in a minute.
Do you always describe the nature of the device after you use it?
That's more fun that way. Besides, it's all harmless. And there are a few which I do say the effects before I do it, because it has not a worse effect, but, it's a bit more detrimental, like the dye bombs I've got.
The dye bombs?
Yeah. Not dyes in kill you, dyes in colour. You throw it on somebody, their skin will change into one of the various colours around, and it will stay like that for an hour, and then it'll just vanish.
Just out of curiosity, how many charges does this wand of frowns have?
3, and then it swaps over to something different.
Am I permitted to know what the different, I guess, facial expression is?
Smiles. And
so I presume it alternates between the two, does it?
It does, though it's not consistent. Most of the time it will remain as a wand of scowls, but if you use all its charges and something happens when it recharges, it turns into smiles, and vice versa.
Interesting. And how much would you charge for such a device?
35 gold.
You know what? To the hells with it. I would like to take that. I would like to take that that device of magical mouth off your hands.
She sort of flicks up the cabinet again, pulls out the wand. Okay. She tosses you the wand.
I'll give her 4 platinum.
Yeah, she puts them into her coin pouch. And for you, sir, wanting the dye bombs, how many is some? I do have a limited amount.
What colours do you have available?
That's the thing. It's random. How much is one? Well, for a single one, it's 10 gold. All this is rather expensive and time-consuming to make. I do have a slightly cheaper alternative. Snappers. They simply, maybe I should call them crackers, but that didn't sound right. They make the sound as if you're cracking your knuckles very loudly when you break them.
Works as a good distraction, I suppose.
40 gold for 4 dye bombs, of course.
Okay, hold on. Aki. 1 Wand of Frowns.
She takes the platinum and places those in her pouch as well, and she flies behind the counter, quickly pulls out what appears to be almost like Tide Pods, and just sort of like hands them over to you rather gently. Careful, if you hit somebody high enough with it, it will pop.
What happens if you eat one?
Well, your excrements will be a very interesting colour if you do so within the hour after eating it. Yes, an hour. It will, upon detonating, it will turn somebody's skin colour to a various colour for an hour. It is, unless you're going for an important meeting. That happened once.
Just have a look inside the shop. Is there anything else that grabs my eye?
You see what looks to be, almost like a bag of dust.
And, I take it this powder here isn't just simple chalk dust, is it?
No, I call them tickle sprinkles.
Tickle sprinkles, eh?
Yes, essentially it's a sensation of being tickled.
Is Havelock here?
I would assume so, yes.
In the shop?
I would assume so.
Yes.
Okay. I'll go over to Can I go... I'll go over to Havelock and say, Havelock, do you think, do you suspect Mevelair would see the humorous side of such an additive?
Yeah. Just don't use it on her, or you will die.
Well, what if I'm in the mood for a brush with death?
You know what? If you want to die, I will not stop you.
Honestly, I feel like it might lead to the destruction of the Talaria itself with an item that potent in our midst. I think the Wand of Frowns and the Wand of Frowns is enough for me. Thank you. I'm afraid there's such thing as too much of a good thing, you know. I mean, unless someone else wishes to acquire it, on their head be it. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure when we're going back here. How much is it for the tickle dust?
1 gold per satchel.
And how potent is it? I'm guessing, would you have to use an entire satchel on someone to get the effect?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
I'd like 2 satchels, please.
2 gold it is then.
Superb. And he lays down 2 gold. Actually, 3 satchels, please.
Then that is 3 gold.
Sorry, just makes it so it's a flat number.
I can't guarantee that it'll have any effect if someone has the fortitude to withstand being tickled, then you will have wasted a satchel. But that's why it's so much more cheaper than the dye bombs.
Interesting. Alright. Well, come on, let me click so I can add how many I've got. There you go. Well, it still delivers hilarity, forced or not. So, I suppose that's a fit for purpose. I think I'm quite okay. We have some more business to attend to that isn't outside of here, so I think, unless someone else wishes to purchase something, I think I'll be okay. Thank you so much for your personage.
Of course.
And then Aki will walk outside. Wait, are we all in this tiny shop?
Yes.
Hell yeah, okay.
And you get the feeling, given how cramped it is, that you could maybe fit one more person in before it gets too cramped.
Oh, fine. Yeah, then Aki will try to squeeze his way out of the shop.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So, I guess the final bit is hunting traps and rations. So, do you want to roleplay this, or do you want to just go over and done with? Just get over and done with. Okay. So, because thanks, Roll20, you give us all this information, but not the prices of things. I know rations, it's 5 silver each. And being the fact that the shingles is predominantly involved with hunters and everything, they got a sizable amount. I would say that's too far. I would say that they probably have about 37 rations at the moment. And as for traps, they do have traps. I just need to find the price for them. Because, and this is how you know I'm a terrible DM, I haven't memorized everything. Woe be me to be calling myself a DM. Why does that not say? Left in Egypt. Oh, there we go. And for the hunting trap, they've got about 7 traps. And they are 5 gold each.
Which would be, or is that not 18.5 gold? So 19 gold. Or have I got my calculations wrong?
Yeah, math.
No, Pish, I can cover 19 gold on bar.
When you don't have gold, but you have platinum.
Why is all my money too big?
Jeez, we're really swinging
I mean,
money?
you-
I don't know.
I suppose
Fucking,
if you wanted to be kind, we could just drop 2 platinum.
like, God, why don't I have any 20s? All I have are these hundreds.
I don't care if the store just opened up and you don't have enough money in there. I want to pay $100 for my $2 coffee.
It's so annoying. Why is all of my money in gold bars? What the fuck?
It's 35 gold for all 7 traps. Why did my boss just text me?
Why are they texting you? It's the weekend.
It's because of the bank holiday due to the Queen's death.
Oh fuck! I get Monday off. Hell yeah.
Because it was announced while I was on annual leave.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting her know that I'm
Yeah. 34
aware.
rations is quite heavy.
I mean, I think Mev's been holding like fucking 30 rations.
Well, yeah, but that's Mev. Oh, actually, no. Is Mev a strength or a dex fighter?
She's a strength fighter.
I think she's got the highest strength out of all of you.
Look at my dex. Wow.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Yeah.
Min max, motherfucker.
Not even min.
Okay. I like playing. I like dex fighters. They're fun. They can't do much, but they're fun.
Depends on your build.
Yeah, you just be a fucking sharpshooter, just headshotting dudes from like 2 miles away. It's great. Yeah. So I guess. Okay, so awesome. So then I think are we all covered then?
I think, unless there's any extra things that Team Tall want to do.
I got my nerd books. You've got your incense. We got traps and we got rations. I think we're good.
All right.
Over to the DMPC and the chaperone.
Well,
Yep. So, back at the Impure Waters, essentially, Mev, you and Fur have just sort of been quietly sort of watching the clientele and just eating the various bakery products.
yeah. Mev half the time has been like tapping on the table nervously.
Oh, what's up?
Oh. She looks down at her hand and like removes it from the table. Just I don't really like sitting still, you know?
Nah, yeah, I totally get it, yeah.
Makes me anxious when I'm not doing anything, and I left Vlog to do stuff. He isn't exactly the most focused.
Yeah, I mean, you see those kind of people all the time. You won't believe how many people try to make a living as a hunter only to fall flat because they can't focus on it.
I imagine, just being out in the wilderness all the time, I bet they get bored quick.
I mean, as much as I don't like him, I at least always had company in Curse.
Mev nods. So, you don't like Curse?
Look, Mav, at the end of the day, Curse is a dragon, and he appeared literally the day after my parents were killed by one. You don't suddenly turn around and say, oh, look at the cute baby dragon, oh, I'm gonna love you forever and everything. I've accepted that right now I'm stuck with him, but...
Fuck.
At the end of the day, he's still a dragon.
Mev nods in an understanding, kind of leans back. I assumed as much, that you were, I suppose, tolerating him.
I mean, for now, that's the best I can do, ain't it?
You understand your bias, your trauma. But as time goes on, I think to actually understand yourself, you're going to have to learn how to understand colors.
I know.
I want you to be ready for that fact.
Don't have much of a choice now, do I, at this point? They're already looking for him, clearly. If I can't keep him under control, then eventually he'll get caught. And I don't like dragons, but Curse is a baby who's done nothing wrong. It's not right for him to be brutally murdered, especially if they find out I can bring him back. Some sick bastard will probably make use of that.
Mev nods, looking a little bit relieved to hear that she understands that Kerr's very, very likely had no fucking involvement. If you dislike the situation, but you are being tolerable of it because you can't go elsewhere to get away from it, don't really have strong hopes for your sister.
I would hope so, yeah. I'm terrified about that conversation.
We'll be here to protect you. And of course.
I'm not worried about what she might do physically, it's just... She took most of the burden on after our parents died. She's a big sister, so she felt she had to step up. And so I'm just worried what she might be harboring in her, I guess.
What do you mean? Resentment against the dragons or you?
She's got no resentment against me. Absolutely not. She loves me to bits. But as much as I hate dragons, I understand. Like, I've accepted that the dragon that killed our parents was just doing what dragons do. Doesn't mean I don't hate him, but I get the feeling that, oh, it's my sister, I get the feeling she doesn't care, and if given the opportunity, would kill a dragon if she saw one. Including Kurz.
Saying that malice won't bring someone back.
I know, but I'm a hunter with a looks around to make sure no one's listening. I'm a hunter with a dragon that's following it all around. I'm certainly not the person to talk to people about their issues.
Of smiles. And then she thinks, you know, what happened with your family?
You mean...
Sure, dragons attack, but they're intelligent. I wouldn't think they would do that arbitrarily. At least not to a little tiny island.
Look, Mev, you're a nice girl and everything, but we've only known each other for like a day. I'd rather wait before, coming clean on the details of that night. It's a painful memory.
Right. I understand. There are things that are just too difficult to talk about inherently.
For now, just settle with dragon attacked the island, and my parents died because of it. And then Kurt showed up. Just accept that for now. And tell you what, get me to the druids. I'll let you know a bit more.
He nods. Okay. Then, is there anything last minute that you have to do? Get equipment, say goodbye to people other than your sister?
Yeah, I need to say goodbye to Aiden. I want to have a little walk around the city, just reminisce on my time here. As I say, want to head to the Iron Forge, see if maybe they got a lance in case of, that little idea comes to fruition.
Then, it looks like we have things to do.
Yeah,
And I love things to do.
I'm sure you do.
Mev gets up and she takes a pastry, shoves it in her mouth, and starts to leave.
You just sort of see Fur just sort of have a look around, so give one last look around the impure waters before just sliding off the bench and following after you. So I guess the question there, since you're accompanying the DM's PC, Mev, is if you want any of this roleplayed or not.
We still got a whole heck of a lot of time. I think for now we'll get what she needs. If there's anything significant that you think is going to come from Fur and Aiden's conversation, we can, but otherwise...
I think the only one there, walking around just reminisce is just sort of following Fur around. We don't need to roleplay her getting the weapon that she wants, so again, I need to look up the price for it. So let me just quickly grab
It's expensive.
I guess the only particular things I would note in regards to that is going into the Iron Forge that you do see several Warforged there. But they appear to be in the upper level, seemingly operating a conveyor belt which is feeding a steady amount of, ores and such into the various furnaces.
Isn't the thing that Fur mentioned before, the Warforge here?
So it appears that the Warforged are sort of operating things, but the actual smiths appear to be surprisingly gnomes.
Cool.
Because she had said she'd used the word automatons before.
Yeah, but I'm just saying for the ease of identification, they look like Warforges.
Okay.
It's just some might call them constructs, others may call them automaton, just for the sake of ease.
Automaton's an actual race, though.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay. Note to self, in this universe, Warforge and automatons are basically the same.
Yes, you could basically think of automaton as sort of a subclass. Or it's a subrace even. Yeah, like elves and drow, for example. Right, so so basically it's the various Warforged are operating the machines and such, whereas gnomes, rock gnomes specifically, are the ones that are sort of hammering away on the anvils and such. So asking around, Fur is able to get a lance for the cost of 10 gold.
Woo.
Which she has that gold, thankfully. So now Fur has a lance. That she can't really use because baby dragon. So beyond that, she heads to Aiden's house and sort of like just knocks on the door. The door opens with Aiden sort of like that's like, "Oh, hey Fur, how's it going? See you've made a friend." "Yeah, her name's Mev. Did you ever give your name to Aiden? I forget."
No.
No.
She did say that they were the Talaria.
Ah, yeah, I know of them. They're from that group, Talaria, I think it was.
Hmm.
Well, what, they save your bacon or something like that, Fur? You could kind of say that, I guess. Look, I'm here just to say that, these guys have actually invited me to go traveling with them. You're serious? So, like, looking at you, Mev?
Yeah.
Well, alright then. So, and you've came because... Well, just wanted to say goodbye to my teacher, you know? Tell him thanks for everything that they've done. Maybe ask a favor that you could look after, keep an eye on Oates while I'm gone? Yeah, I can keep an eye on her. Can't say I'd be able to do much, but I can keep an eye on her. Just, you know, without me being around, like, she could get a bit, what's the word? She doesn't talk a whole lot. So, yeah, maybe just having a conversation with her. Sure. I can do that, no problem. I tell you what as well, if I get any extra holes, I'll let her use it to sort of spice up the food. Okay, yeah, that'd be great, Aiden. That'd be, yeah, sorry, there's a lot for me to take in still. I can understand that. Look, we've always got our home here in Sangan, so if things don't work out, just come on back. Yeah, I'll, I mean, I'll probably come back eventually, but, you know, don't know when, you know? But I just wanted to say thanks, you know? Anytime, Fur. Anytime. Right, okay, yeah, that's everything, so, bye! And she just sort of, like, quickly sort of, like, backs away. Aiden just gives a respectful nod to you, Mev, before closing the door.
Mev nods back and looks to Fur. How is she looking?
It is very drooped down at the moment, and she's sort of fidgeting a little bit.
You okay?
Yeah, it's just, you know, realization sort of sunk in that I'm gonna be leaving.
Yeah. It's nerve-wracking, huh?
Yeah, but I know this is for the best. Yeah, we need to do this, and it's not like I'm going far. You know, could always come back, and possibly.
Mev nods in agreement. You will always have the opportunity later.
Yeah. Maybe I'll find a way to keep Kurz away from me without, you know, going crazy about needing him near me. I'd tell for that, honestly.
He nods and starts to walk. Is Fur following her?
Yeah.
You know he cheats on his wife.
Nah, I've heard that before.
Oh. Oh yeah. questioned him about the impure waters, and he completely shut down. It was funny.
Well, no, it's a case. He does like to frequent the impure waters a lot. He's loyal, but he does like to ogle.
Mev raises the brow a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Guess it's because of the type of person that I am.
Probably. I've known him for 3 years. He's trained me everything I know. He's never made a move on me, let's put it that way. Unless you're implying something.
Mev grins at her. I wasn't implying anything, but you sure do like to flatter yourself, hmm?
No, it's either that or my confidence hits rock bottom and I lose hope in everything. So, you know, I'll take being my own hype man every now and then.
Mev.
Or hype woman.
Just, her head is like thrown back as she howls with laughter. You are very cute, Fur.
Oh, I thank you. And her ears have perked up at that.
But, you know, I personally don't really understand the just ogling thing, the just looking. I'd say, you know, if you want something, just go for it. Though that may sound mean.
But yeah, nah, I don't quite get it either. I mean, I do, but I don't. As you say, it's like, might as well go for it.
Yeah, like, I get that someone wants to be loyal to their partner or show them the proper respect. But if you're already having, like, fantasies about something, you're really tempting fate.
Maybe. Or maybe it was just because, you know, she was having a kid at that time. I don't know, men are weird.
Mev, that seems to actually be like, wow, what a shithead. What an awful person. But she nods. Men. Oh, yeah.
Let's keep walking about, and then I guess, what is you all going to be coming to see my sister together, or?
Be going with you, yes. They need to go see the Archmage first, but afterwards we will go see your sister.
Valabeth.
Velabeth.
Yeah.
Mev seems to be swirling the words around in her mouth.
Yeah, she's okay. She's okay. Really doesn't like people, like, disturbing her work, though.
You've met her?
On a few occasions.
Mev nods. Seems surprising considering how this town is split up. You'd think that the, like, rich people would completely avoid this place.
I might have initially have asked her about, like, dragon stuff, but it's not her specialty.
She didn't have answers for you.
Well, sorry, I didn't quite hear that.
She didn't have answers for you?
No. Turns out she's more about the sky than dragons.
Right. That is very bold of you.
Well, look, how desperate situation and all that, you know?
Oh, so?
I mean, I'm living in a city, but I have to be near a dragon. In a republic that absolutely despises dragons. And it's a dragon I can't get rid of. You know? Kind of desperate trying to find a solution.
Mev nods like she understands, but personally Mev's like the Archmage for this situation would not have even been like her 5th choice. But she nods. Alright. If that's the case, I suppose we can reminisce some more and go back to the Imperial Waters when she's done.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else can meet up to go to the Archmage.
Yeah, so back to the team tall, eventually accompanied by Marine, who joins you all. Don't actually know what time is it? You got work in like 2 hours, don't you, Peach?
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half? Okay, let's take a quick 10-minute break. Just because I know we've been going on without a break for now. So... the entirety of you, minus Fur and Mev, make your way over to the Tower of the Archmage. It actually stands away from the main set of buildings on its own sort of mini plateau. However, the tower itself reminds you a bit of a lighthouse in both size and shape, though it has a very large contraption so like perched on the top of it. As you approach the tower, there appears to be it clearly it's in the shape of a door, but it clears to be like a stone slab with no discernible handle or means to open it. Yep. So, what you doing? You guys just standing in front of what appears to be the door.
Oh shit! Sorry. I thought with Havli saying "ooh," he was gonna leave. Aki will. Well, yeah, Aki will just sort of go up to the door, or go up to where he thinks the door should be.
You can see the little like seam. You can tell like the stone slab it's almost like been slotted in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that there's no handle and you don't see any hinges or anything.
Yeah. Aki will. Because Aki's skills isn't really in the arcane. It's in the. It's in druidy magic, nature magic stuff. So Aki will sort of just like say, which will just say, "Hello, we have business with the Archmage. So if you could please open, that'd be awfully appreciated."
It's about a minute of silence, and then you watch as the stone slab sort of almost seem to twist slightly as a head begins to sort of protrude out to it. Looks a bit akin to a gargoyle's like head. And it just sort of like stretch itself out until it looks down and says, "Who approaches the mistress's tower?"
The Talaria, we were told to come here by the what was his name again?
Ferrant.
We were told to come here by Archmage Ferrant.
The creature's head sort of like looks out into the distance for a few seconds before it says, "She has been expecting you. You may enter." You watch as the slab sort of like begin to fold back before it eventually falls and seems to almost phase into the ground. And you watch as the head of the creature just slowly rescinds back into the stone slab, which is now on the floor. But you have entry into the tower.
Awesome. Aki will walk through the threshold.
Okay. So the interior of the tower is, or at least feels, much more spacious than it looked on the outside. The main entry room is as big, or maybe even a little bit bigger than the diameter of the tower itself. Surprisingly, you don't see any stairs, though you do see what appear to be like several runes on the ground. 4 statues sort of adorn the like the circumference of the tower, but there doesn't appear to be anyone around.
Did you say there were doors? Did you say?
No other doors. Just a rune that's sort of you see what a large sort of like what appears to be like a diagram in the middle, along with a rune on the far side that's sort of lightly glowing.
Do I recognize the rune?
Make an Arcana check. And is it the diagram or the singular rune that you're looking at?
The rune.
Okay, make an Arcana check.
I'm guessing they have different DCs. Let's find out.
10. As you've mentioned before, you're not really adept in the arcane.
Okay. Can I have a closer look at the diagram?
Sure.
What does it look like?
It looks... Make an intelligence check.
Oh boy, okay.
17. You sort of observe it. You sort of walk around and look, and then it sort of just clicks in that this diagram... You're not too sure of the diagram itself, but the sort of things within it appear to be like... almost like constellations.
Stars. Are there any constellations I recognize on there, or like any way I would be able to work out like what the nature of this is?
You wouldn't be able to ascertain the nature of it.
Okay. Okay, so then Aki, If Aki goes and just puts his hand over the rune, does anything happen?
The singular rune or the diagram?
The singular rune.
As you sort of bring your hand closer to it, you sort of feel a thrum of energy start to come from it, and almost like it's just been added in, like on a video editing software. A figure suddenly just appears atop the rune. It appears to be a female Veldekin, relatively old as well. You can see her light blue skin is relatively wrinkled. She has dark, almost coal black eyes. Comparative to the mages who you've seen who typically wear robes, however, she appears to be wearing a simple tunic with a belt with various contraptions on it. Havelock, one of them you actually recognize from your time on sea as a sextant. Blues.
That's you.
At this point, who you assume is the Archmage speaks up. Right, you're the Talarias, are you?
Yes, the very same.
Cell swords, as I worried about.
Is that the reason why this meeting isn't being done in the flesh?
I'm literally right here, sir. And she just pokes you hard in the forehead. Very real. She is very real.
I thought you said it was like a projection of her.
Nope. She just appeared almost out.
Oh, fuck. Sorry, I'm an idiot. Okay. Okay, I was conceptualizing it all wrong. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, apologize. I'm not exactly clued up on the nature of this type of magic, I'm afraid.
Of course not. Of course not. She begins muttering under her breath. Being able to lip read, you can understand what she's saying. I can't believe this. It's one thing for him to employ sellswords for the Accords. I can tolerate that. But then they bring him here and he expects me to make use of my teleportation chamber, waste my time with these lot, making me a delivery girl. Right. She sort of like raised her voice up so you can all hear. So, I assume you're here for something.
Yes, indeed. I believe you have some items for us.
Unfortunately, yes, I do. I believe it was a halberd and an axe.
Indeed, yes. I didn't catch your name, by the way, I'm afraid.
Valabeth, Archmage of Sangan.
And clearly astute in many arcane arts, but manners isn't among them, it seems.
She taps her staff twice, and you sort of...
Aki sort of taking that one moment of a bit of cockiness, and he kind of just like immediately just folds again when you see him just tap his staff.
As you like step back, you hear the clanging of weapons landing on the ground. On the ground is what appears to be a familiar-looking halberd, though seemingly cleaned up a little bit and sort of made a bit nicer, and it was a battle axe, wasn't it, Havelock? Yeah, and a battle axe. The battle axe is a little bit interesting because you can clearly see sort of like some condensation on the the sharpened parts of the blade. There, as promised, your weapons.
Thank you very much. And Aki will sort of just reach down, grab the weapons, and then start sort of divvying them out to people. Now, was there any other business relayed to you?
I am aware of your involvement with whoever is masquerading as Jiraiya.
Indeed, yes. We discovered her in Lanarch, yes.
You've seen Jiraiya himself?
No, just the person you claim to be masquerading as them, yes. Also, no, apologies, someone working for someone claiming he's alive.
And I suppose that is where this information originally came from, that Ferrant has passed over to me, yes?
Yes, it was from our own investigations, yes.
Then yes, I am aware that the Talaria are aiding the Accord to find what people believe is Jiraiya.
And by the sounds of it, you don't exactly believe them.
I don't believe he's a mastermind. We ensured he'd not be able to make use of his talents. Nothing short of magic capable of rewriting the fabric of this plane would hope to undo it.
And yet, does that magic exist?
I would imagine. We've heard tales.
So it's beyond... however remote, it is still within the realm of possibility?
Within the realms of possibility, but so rare that we should not be concerned. Call it arrogance if you will, but I've seen enough to know that rarity is indeed something that has various levels.
Yes, but also that's something known as hubris to assume something will never happen, and then the universe manifests in such a way in which it does.
That's if you can be sure the universe is how you think it is.
That's true, I suppose, in the same way that no one can be sure, can they?
Well, not yet, anyway.
Well, we are off to the Murrag for expedition and exploration of that part of the country. Seeing if we can recruit the assistance of some of the druid tribes down there with with some of our dealings. I imagine you don't have any contacts or knowledge of that part of the world, do you?
I've been asked many times by the guard to assist them in their expeditions in the Murrag. It's not an area I'm interested in, but I've helped on occasion. The road through from Sangan to Port Honor would not have been formed without my help, without me removing the magics that disorientated people. Can't imagine the thing that put it on there is very happy with me.
So, as someone who's clearly one of the world experts in the place, what would you advise to make sure we don't end up in early graves?
You're misunderstanding. My expertise is not within the land of Karmora or Karmora itself. I look skyward, through to the stars. That is where I have my expertise in. I merely aided the guard simply because they were so insistent.
And to ascertain what among the stars, its true nature, its place amongst the order of the planes. What exactly?
You see her eyes light up as you ask this. Well, tell me, when you look up at the night sky, what do you see?
Well, I see glowing, shimmering light. My grandfather used to tell me stories. It was the eyes of the gods peering down at their children, but I'm not sure if they have that much interest in our minute goings on, do they?
She sort of waves her staff upwards, and you can see the, you can't actually see the ceiling of this place. It sort of just goes into blackness, but actually, as you look up, you see the darkness will, swirl around as you see the, various stars start to appear and slowly being rotating. That is one that people say. Me? I see questions waiting to be found. These stars... Are there more places like Karmora around them? If not, then why? Did the Alliance not spread their work beyond here? And the biggest one is admittedly partially driven by the incessant theories of Kalius's followers. After all, in all tales you hear, there's no mention of him being behind the barrier. So is he still out there? Could you imagine what that would mean, discovering that the only god this side of the barrier has been found? That is
quest even...
one quest that I am on, but the biggest one is a theory. Are these stars of the material plane, or is it really the astral sea?
What do you mean?
I'm sure that if you are well studied, you know that the structure of the planes has been looked at for centuries. There's a belief that we are sandwiched between the plane of the Feywild and the realm of the dead, the Shadowfell. And surrounding those planes is the elemental planes, fire, earth, air, and water. Beyond that, the divine barrier, where the gods were flung, and where the 9 hells also reside. But that barrier is not an immovable object. It stretches and contracts. Holes form, growing thinner and thinner each time. Snaking within around this, the astral sea, and within that, the void. But what if the astral sea isn't a realm? What if all the planes reside in the astral sea?
Is that truly knowledge that mortal beings are possible to even know?
That is what I've
Truly
spent my
know?
life to study.
And have you reached any conclusions?
No, but I don't suppose my work will be done in a single generation. I'll bring on apprentices. They shall learn as well, and they shall uncover the secrets themselves. I am merely setting the foundations in place.
And in your endeavors, would you wish to perhaps gain access to the realm of the gods, if it is at all possible?
I've heard tales of people breaching through the divine barriers, and returning to tell the tale.
Are those stories credible, or just the ramblings of madmen?
There is literature about them, same with those that have delved into the 9 hells. We've also had information from those that have came from the realm of the gods and the 9 hells.
Interesting. And what sort of space do they speak?
Their language is difficult, but not something that we have not heard before. Celestial, primordial, infernal. It's difficult to find those fluent in it, but thankfully, even in beyond the barrier, common is still quite common.
Perhaps a discovery as revolutionary and eye-opening as yours could change the very notion of knowledge itself. Make us answer every single question we know, every single truth we know about the world.
And that, my friend, is what every archmage here strives to do. At this point now, you can tell that she is much more calmed down at this point.
Yeah. Indeed. As sure as you could probably figure out by me befuddling my way through your structure, my knowledge is more in the natural energies, the druidic arts, not so much the arcane, let alone the celestial spheres. But perhaps I might even, if it changed, as my powers come from the wellspring, the magic wellspring that is the Feywild, perhaps. A revolution in the very conception of the structure of the world, of the realms, would also change how we perceive how my gifts are granted.
Perhaps, and that is one of the greatest things on seeking knowledge. To push those limits, to find ways around them, and to discover new things. See, now you're talking in a way I can appreciate.
Indeed. And hopefully you know that such a conversation cannot be conducted by just any common or garden sellsword.
I suppose that there is those with more finesse among you. But do not take this as my approval. At the end of the day, you are all still sellswords. Just one that is more knowledgeable than the common rabble.
I will accept that as the compliment I'm sure it was intended to be.
It was. And trust me when I say I do not give those out lightly. she sort of like looks over at Marine. And you. It's awkward times between them. Well, you wish to speak with me? Yeah, sorry, I was just, sort of processing what you were saying, so you're knowledgeable about the planes? Yes, well, you don't go studying the stars and the theory that we are in the astral sea as opposed to alongside it without knowing about the planes themselves. Do you know how to get to the plane of water? Yes. I had to go there in my youth a few times as part of my research. Why? There's something important I need to do there. And what, you expect me to let a stranger, a sellsword, use my facilities? I don't have much goodwill, and Ferrant's request has extinguished pretty much all of it. Yeah, but I could help you with this. How so? I'm designed for deep sea. I don't need to breathe, I don't need to sleep. I could be in there for days, years, and still help. Yes, but I've just met you. Well, could you maybe... He looks to all of you guys. Look, can I just earn it? Like what? You said you needed apprentices, assistants and everything. I, as far as I'm aware, can't die of old age, so I could, Are you offering to become my assistant, Construct? If it'll get me to the plane, then yeah. And what of your friends here? Does their opinion not matter? This is why I want them here, because I wanted to get their opinion on it as well. He just sort of looks to all of you.
Well, I suppose, Marine, this is what you've been desiring, isn't it? I suppose it could be said for all of us, but the Talaria was we all have our own wishes, our own aspirations, and in many ways the Talaria can be seen as driving to accomplish them as a group. So
I mean, the thing I was thinking as well was just the fact that we're so close to the Murrag, and the entire thing was getting you over to it. Well, we're here, pretty much.
That is well, indeed.
Yeah, and so I figured that maybe I was probably going to do this after the Murrag's thing, but
it's okay, Marine. If this is what you want, I'm afraid you probably won't get another perfect opportunity like this again.
Yes, quite right. He is indeed quite right on this one.
So, don't be afraid, Marine. This is farewell, but perhaps not forever.
I would hope so. He looks to Velbeth. I mean, they can visit, right? Do I look like my house, my tower, is designed for people to visit? So,
There's not a place.
Looks over at you, Aki, at that. If we are not busy, then fine. I'd be interested to know what this one, indicates to Aki, learns about the natural world as well. Not my specialty, but
Indeed.
Do not say that I'm never hungry for knowledge.
Indeed, and perhaps, and indeed, my family runs a a successful trading company in over in Naza. So if you need any patronage to match any expenses for your research, they could be discussed.
That I will think about. Well, Construct. Can I just do like one last thing before that? Promise with that that'll be done afterwards. Fine, if you so decide that you can join me in the other room. She turns around and walks over to the ruin, so like turns back to look at you all, and just vanishes.
Aki, seeing her leave, Aki just sighs and shakes his head. Well then, Marine, I believe this is goodbye.
Yeah, it's sorry, it's just sort of like clutches the necks he has. This is probably the best opportunity to get my stuff done, so I need to take this. But I don't need to take these. Here, kindling. Sort of passes you over a small sack. This is for, I guess it's technically for all of you, but here. Alright, so he hands you the sack. So, per his request, Marine has passed every bit of coin he has to you.
Are you quite sure, Marine? Wouldn't you be needing this for your own expenses? You can't. I'm not quite sure about the Archmage's talents, but I'm sure she can't just magic up any amenities you may need.
I don't think that she's gonna have me do much to begin with. You've seen how much she distrusts us.
Yes, true. Yes. But...
If it gets to that point, by that point, I mean, I can still find I can do the odd job if she's not gonna, help me out with stuff. So I can do the odd job here and there.
All right. Well, thank you for your kindness, Marine. In terms of contract, I suppose you officially have stepped away from it. You will be receiving. I will, in due course, I will see if I can message. Someone at the family firm and send you over your remuneration to this building.
Sure, no rush whatsoever though in regards to it. I get the feeling I'm going to be here for a while.
All right, but all right, well, if you do manage to cross over into the land of the gods, put in a good word for the Talaria, won't you?
Sure.
We need friends in literally the highest places possible.
Sure.
Capital. Well, it's been a delight, Marine, and best of luck surviving whatever the Archmage puts you through. And as I said, this is farewell, but not for forever. And Aki holds out a hand.
He takes it. I was designed for deep water exploration. How much harder can going to the realms of the gods be?
Exactly, I suppose. You've tussled with the gods of the deep. How can all their powers combined be up against that? All right. Take care of yourself, Marine, will you?
I will.
All right.
You watch as Marine walks over to the ruin, so like stands on it for a few seconds, turns to look back, and just vanishes.
Well then, from a Talaria, from one farewell to another, shouldn't we? Don't we have a Don't we have a rather difficult conversation to have next?
So, I assume that you leave her tower?
Yeah. Head back down the stairs.
Alright, yeah. So you head, you exit out and you hear like the sound of stone moving on stone. You turn around and you watch as the stone slab sort of like rights itself back into place. No sign of whatever the face thing was. It's not there anymore.
Oh, what does the face thing look like again?
It looked a bit like a gargoyle. Like you've seen like
Okay.
like the gargoyle stuff that's chiseled on churches and everything. It looks like that.
Oh, what was the name of Fur's mentor again? I'm so sorry, I'm just catching up on notes.
Aiden. We'll give you a few minutes to catch up on the notes.
Yo.
But yeah, I've put down.
I mean, I barely have any time.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going with it. Wait, time is of the essence.
Yeah.
I can sort of.
We got like what, 45 minutes?
I can think and write notes at the same time.
Kind of, but I have to like get dressed and everything, and I'll basically be running around.
Okay, so we'll say like 15, 20 minutes. Okay, alright.
Yeah.
So I know I can get to a part where it'll be good to stop then. Okay, so you eventually all meet up back once again at the Impure Waters. Mev and Fur are there, though you can see at this point Fur's got what looks to be like an iron lance sort of strapped on the other side of her back alongside her spear.
Yay! Good for her.
Yep.
So everyone's heading back, sans Marine.
Yep. Well, I just sort of fast forwarded to where everyone is back at the
Yeah.
Impure Waters.
Okay. Mev stands up and looks around at you guys. Oh, thank goodness you got her back.
Yes, in one piece and without a friend.
Mev pauses and she scans you all. What do you mean? Where's Marine?
He's fine. He's alive. We got the weapons from the Archmage. Must say she was not a fan of ours. She had a countenance like a thunderstorm, but she specializes in the cosmos and the structure and deciphering the true nature of structure of the worlds and of the planes. Sorry, and Marine always wanted to travel to the astral plane of water, and so he said he'd join up with her as an assistant of some sort and work his way up until he eventually can plumb those depths. And so he'll be staying with her for the time being, I'm afraid.
So he just left?
Yes, it was his decision, and well, I suppose he wanted something out of our travels, and when it comes to accomplishing it, he wasn't going to find a better opportunity than being in an Archmage's tower who purely specializes in traveling to the different realms.
Mev frowns. I suppose not. Good for him.
Indeed. I did say that we wouldn't be gone forever, that if we ever found ourselves back in Sangan, we'd pop in for a visit and a catch-up and a swap of information.
Right.
Farewell, but not forever. as my father used to say.
It's oddly sentimental for your parents. But she starts putting her own like things away that she's had out on the table. She had a few games out while they waited.
So I'm trying to think of his backstory. Aki's parents were kind of cool. Okay, never mind. They were rich, snobby, stuck-up parents, of course they were, but like they weren't like Mev, like Nem's level parents.
Yeah, Mev just sees them as rich and snobby. So
That's fair. But yeah.
Yeah, Mev is putting everything away. So I guess that means we just have to deal with her sister. Right?
Yeah, it seems so, yeah.
Indeed, yes.
Everyone's got all their equipment, their bags, no pets left behind. Then she looks around for Dawes.
I'll wait for Anna to respond on that one on what Dawes is doing, but assume that Dawes is present.
Yep.
Including.
There we go, typing.
What was the name of the Archmage again?
Valabeth. Valabeth. Alright, yeah, so you see a raven just sitting on Havelock's shoulder.
Looks like we're all ready.
Yeah. Yeah, seems so, yeah.
Mev flings her bag over her shoulder and just frowns more. Man, how am I going to finish up learning my Tinker's tools? Mev just throws her hands up, obviously trying to make light of the situation with like an exaggerated exasperation. She shakes her head. I guess I'll have to read or something. She starts to walk out.
I assume the rest of you follow on.
Yes.
Okie dokie. So, you follow Mev out, but Fur very quickly takes the lead, knowing where her home is like the back of her hand.
Yep.
And she leads you over to the hole in the bucket. You've seen it a few times here and there, but you've never really been in it. It is a rather solid-looking stone building, though dirty with like soot and coal dust. It's relatively close to the mining area. The have-mentioned bucket is situated next to the door with the sign above it. Peeking into the bucket itself, the entire bottom of it's gone.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it.
I don't recall because it's been a few weeks, so figured I'd refresh.
I recall you mentioning the bucket with literally no bottom. At that point, is it a bucket?
Yeah.
Is it just a cylinder? Like,
One of the great
it's a thick straw.
One of the great philosophical questions that we may ask.
You're right. All right, so Mev will stop at the door, and I'd like to just roll an insight on Fur.
Okay, go ahead and make an insight check. 13. She's not making any effort to hide it. She is incredibly nervous.
Okay. Mev
and a little
pats
bit,
her shoulder.
and clearly a little bit scared too.
Yeah. Mev pats her shoulder. Hey, it will be okay. You have support.
Yeah. I've got this.
Right.
Okay. She pushes open the door and sort of walks in. It's rather packed. There's a lot of the tables and chairs are in use and such. People are sort of like laughing or conversing or singing and such. You can see over by the counter is what almost looks like fur but aged up a couple of years. It is a female gnome. Not gnome, goblin. I was looking at all my other notes and it's like, oh yeah, that's a gnome. It's like, no, it's a goblin. You can see that she's got a sort of like oddly, like it's tattered, but it still looks relatively fancy. It's sort of like a tattered like fox scarf over her shoulders, while she's wearing a relatively simple cotton white dress. And Fur just sort of like approaches the rest of you as Oates, her sister, looks says, "Oh, Fur, I was wondering where you were. Can you give me a hand with this stuff? It's sis, we need to talk. Can it wait? I'm a little bit busy." No, it really can't. Right, okay. She puts all the drinks over and sort of like yells out, "Hey, I'm leaving the bar for a little bit. Don't do any stupid shit, alright?" You hear a few yells and like confirmation and such before she sort of like jumps off the stool that she's on and sort of heads into the back room. Fur sort of like lifts up the I never know what they are, the bar door, I guess.
It's a gate.
The gate. To let you all through. As you sort of like walk into the back storeroom. Oates looks at you all with some you're rather wearingly, but first says, it's fine, they're with me, and it's kind of, it involves them. Right, okay, alright. So, what's so important that you had to get rid of, you had to pull me away from rush hour for, So it looks to you all. You remember that night 3 years ago when Mama and Papa died? Aye, every day. Expect that before I die, that'll be the last thing I forget. You know how, like, afterwards I was really distant, and I guess you thought it was me just, dealing with it in my own way? Yes. Well, something happened literally the next day. I started being followed by something. There's like a blur of movement as Oat sort of like lunges forward and like grabs Fur by the arms and starts like, you can see that she's like digging her hands into her arms. By who? Who? Is he in the city? Has he threatened you? Give me a name, and I will make absolutely sure. Fur tries to like sort of like pull herself away, but Oat's got too big of a grip. No. I mean, yes, but also no. He isn't in the city. He isn't threatening me. He's a dragon. You see a grip sort of like lessen a bit. I don't understand. Do you mean a dragonborn? No, like an honest to God's dragon. 4 legs, wings. If he was older, I'm sure he would breathe fire. Watch as Oates sort of like Aki, with your passive insight, you can tell that there is now a boiling rage sort of starting to bubble up. Let's say I believe you. You mean to tell me that you have a dragon following you? A dragon! And you didn't tell anyone about this? I was confused, and it seemed to... It just wanted to be near me, and it didn't want to, like, scare or hurt anybody. You make it sound with it being near you. Do you know where it is, Fur? Yeah, I told it to stay in a, in the nearby forest. Oh, it's like, once again, like, grasps Fur by her shoulders. Okay, Fur, everything's gonna be okay, alright? We're gonna go to the guard, you're gonna take them to where it is, and they'll kill it. This'll all be sorted, but we're gonna have a conversation about you keeping this a secret, okay? No, Oates, you don't understand, you can't kill it. Fur, it is a dragon that is following you. I don't know why it's not killed you yet, but that's going to be its demise. Again, we get the guard, we kill it, we go on with our lives, okay? No, if you kill it, I'll end up summoning it back. Fur. What are you going on about here? Do you want this dragon to be around after what it did to our parents? No, I don't have a choice. She sort of like roughly like steps back and rips herself from Oat's grip. It's like looks back at you, Mev. Mev here says that it's maybe like bound to my soul or something. I don't know why, but it might be why I have to be near it and why it can't die. You remember that ravine near home? I left it there. And a week after, I'd sleptwalked and carried it out. It's not that I want this thing to be here. It's here with me, and I can't get rid of it. It's bound to me, and I have to do something about it. Aki, with your passive insight, you can tell that there's sort of a battle going on within Oates, the love of her sister, and the hatred of dragons, sort of trying to overpower each other.
Yeah.
This is why you would summon it back when it dies, not because you want to, not because you like this thing. Like, let's make it clear, you don't like this thing, no? I guess no. I won't say I do. Right, so it's because you don't have a choice. Yeah. And I assume there's a reason that you're telling me this. Why you've brought these people here? Are they to fix it, or kind of? I can't bring myself to let this one be killed. It's a baby. It's not right, and it's not right as well if they find out that I can bring it back. Hell, I don't even want to know what would happen to me if they did that. You know, I don't want to. Last thing I want to be is a test subject. So So you're leaving. Is that it? Yeah. I'm, today. The Talaria here, they're taking me to the Murrag, and they're hoping that the Druid tribes can maybe shelter me or find some way to get this thing off me. Anything. But I can't stay here. It's too risky at this point. There's a long period of silence where you just see sort of like Oates sort of like step back, looking down and mumbling to herself. Aki, they don't really make a lot of sense what they're saying. It's clear she's having a conversation with herself.
Mm-hmm.
Till eventually she's like, right, okay. All right then. But once you unbind yourself from that thing, you come straight back home. You hear me? But what if they can't? Are you gonna say it's please? I don't want to think about it right now. Just see if they can help, and if not, then And maybe we need to figure out something. This is a lot to take in. So much to take in. I know, but if anything, I'm just more scared that I'll lose you if I can't get rid of this thing. It's another long pause before Oates just slowly walks forward and brings Fur in for a hug. Fur, you're my baby sister, and nothing, no bound dragon or anything, will change that. No matter what, I'll always love you as my little sister. You can see tears are sort of like gathering both their eyes. It's like, I know, sis, I know. I'm just scared. Shh. Look, I know you're scared, and I'm scared as well, but you'll be fine. We've survived a dragon before. We can survive another one, eh? Just let me get something for you, okay? Oates sort of like pushes Fur away a little bit and starts to walk off before Fur speaks up. Sis? Yes? So, these guys have a horse and cart, and the Murrag's not really good for it, so... Really? You've turned my world upside down. Had me converse with myself like a madwoman, and I just casually say, oh, can you look after a horse and cart? So I looks up at all of you. Fine, but I'm making use of it. It's not just sitting here for free, you got that?
Of course. Wouldn't expect you to stop.
And you make sure you look after her, you hear me? If I find out that she got hurt and you did nothing, a dragon being bound to her ain't the thing that you're going to fear the most.
Mev nods, but she has a smile on her face.
I'm serious.
I know.
Right. Let me get something for her. And she walks out back into the tavern. Fur's just sort of like sitting there. You can see tears, sort of like lining on the dirty ground below, at her feet.
What did you say, sorry?
Fur's just sort of like standing there, her head's low, ears droopy. You can see like there's tears, dropping onto the floor.
Mev leans down and rubs Fur's back. You did good. It could have been worse.
Yeah, she could have gone straight to the guard.
Exactly.
You still have your sister, Fur.
I know. Honestly, that was the thing I was scared of the most. I can bear having hers with me forever, but I couldn't bear losing her. She's all I've got left.
We're going to do our best. Okay?
Yeah, maybe they can help. If not, then maybe I can find some way around it. Maybe,
Right.
Maybe we can find a place where we can settle down again. There's gotta be some place out here that doesn't hate dragons.
Well, we've got a lot of land to track.
Yeah. Murrag, huh? Only been in there once or twice before.
We are going deep in.
Yeah, so, sorry, but the hunter's not going to be able to help you on this one. I only was around the outer skirts.
Well, I suppose if we get a little lost, that's just part of the adventure.
Yeah. Adventure.
Adventure.
Yes. All good adventures die die, and with us dying horrific deaths in the jungle, yes.
I would rather that not happened. As you turn around, Oates is there, carrying what looks to be a small little box. As I say, I'd rather you keep her alive. Otherwise, you'll find yourself being hunted down by me. I may not be like Fur, but by gods, if I put my mind to it, I could be your biggest nightmare.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
She sort of like walks past you all to Fur. Here, take it. To remind yourself of everything. Fur just like takes it and slowly opens it. You can't be serious, sis. Take it. It's just gonna gather dust. It's what she would have wanted anyway. Sure. Yeah. She'll like closes it. Aki, make a perception check.
Right, you up?
I say
And
Aki
then-
because Aki can just see
Ooh.
everything.
Ding. 19.
You see, so like in the box before it's closed, a silver brooch.
Brooch.
Brooch. Tomato, tomato.
Nope. Brooch.
It is a brooch, yeah.
Whatever. And just puts it and then just places it in a bag. Right, suppose this is goodbye then. Yeah. But not forever. Not forever. And Fur brings Oates in for a hug. I'll miss you. As much as I'll miss you. Now, come on. Out of the storeroom. None of you drank anything while you were here, no?
Not a drop.
Good.
Mev looks to Havelock. But she shakes her head.
Good now. Hurry up. Just leave your horse and cart round the back. I'll deal with it.
His name is Crispy. He's very friendly.
Gotcha. Crispy. Got it. Alright, come on. Shift. Move your horses.
Mev walks out. I mean, this lady's getting a fucking free cart and a horse.
Mm-hmm.
Those are worth a lot.
Yep. So, you all quickly usher yourselves outside the hole in the bucket. And as that happens, you just hear Fur just exhale loudly, just...
Please tell me that's what we're gonna call it. Just that.
Sure, we can call it for just that.
Oh, that's funny.
Now your journey to the Murrag begins after a small detour to pick up Kurz again.
Yep. Fucking the sigh. the fucking groan.
I mean, in her situation, I would have been screaming.
Yeah.
That's the,
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
I have to go run and get ready.
Yeah, work.